Close the fridge. You live in a barn, Corey?
This is a barn, correct.
You got me. Hey guys, and it's alive. We're gonna be doing one of my favorite recipes from an upcoming project I got coming out November 9th. Field Notes for Food Adventures, my first book. Super excited about it. It's an adventure book, recipe book. Stoked for it. We're gonna be doing a recipe out of it today. Fermented tomato with smoked chicken. It's a glaze and a whole ferment process. Just a great way to celebrate tomatoes, and chickens, and smoke, and you. So first off, I got one nice, just the best chicken you can get, obviously always, but just a whole chicken. Came a little trussed up from the spot I got it at. You can do this with parts already, or just all drumsticks, whatever you're into. I like getting a whole chicken and I split it down, just open it up in half. So what I like to do is, like, when you have that breast, there's that little divider bone that runs down it. When I do it with a knife, I like to just cut right by that. And you kind of just like pick a side. And then really I just kind of crunch right through. And really the biggest bone is that backbone, and we can kind of crunch right around it. And then you're just kind of doing normal chicken butchery, just like that. And you got a nice little half chicken. And then from there, it's just a salting game. The biggest part about it is they just get it on there, a couple hours at least, but if you can go 24 hours, beautiful. So all on the inside, and then up on the breast, you can open up that little pocket of skin. And I like to just kind of work some salt on the top of the breast there. All right, so this chicken's all salted inside out all over. Next step, smoking it and getting the fermentation in the sauce already. So plenty of work.
Do you use that bamboo stick in the recipe?
No, this is just a prop of comfort. I've been walking around with it. I'd grow some, but I think it just like takes over, right?
Yeah, you'd be sorry if you did that.
Watch that hawk, you hear that? There he is. This big one, he's cruising for the chickens. As I'm cooking chickens, it's a sick world. So yesterday I went ahead and I cut up another chicken, salted it. I got 2 chickens chopped up, 4 pieces now, 4 halves. Salted for 24 hours, ready to go. I'm gonna rub them with a little olive oil. The salt and the olive oil just sets up a nice base for everything to just kind of stick to. It just seems right. Oh, here we go. So yeah, I'm throwing this in. This is just a pellet fed smoker. Basically, it's a smoker, but you can do this on a grill too. It's just a low and slow. Like I said, if the grill gets down to 225 degrees, set it at that. Same thing. It's gonna cook in the same way. It's just not gonna get that real nice kind of smoky ring and build up in flavor. It's just about that temperature, holding it at 225. We'll let that smoke for an hour. We'll start building out the glaze and the sauce, and yeah, beautiful day. Now for the tomato part, which is gonna be the glaze and the sauce, you take just any type of tomato. You can use cherry tomatoes, which we're gonna use. You can use beefsteak, anything. This is the fermentation aspect, which you're gonna need to do 3, 4, 5, 6 days ahead of the time that you're gonna wanna make the chicken, right? Because it's gonna need a little time to ferment. And just like any fermentation, depending on where you live and the temperature and the biome life that's already living on your ingredients, everywhere is a little different. So right off the bat, we're gonna have a big old bowl here. I'm gonna mix this stuff in and we're gonna ferment them in jars. So I got about 2 pounds of cherry tomatoes and grape tomatoes. You can, like I said, you can use a variety, multicolor, all red, whatever you can get your mitts on. And you could do this in a crock, you could do this in a fermentation, like a vacuum bag, which they always work really well too. You don't have to have, you don't have to have them, but I like to. It helps to kind of kickstart the party, get the juices moving. It kind of just moves it along. So I'm gonna have them with that old timeless classic of a trick. I just showed my mom this the other day, actually, and she was like, or maybe it was my dad. He was like, whoa, oh, that's a good trick. I like that. I was like, yeah, it must have been my dad. He was blown away. And then, for this fermentation, you want about 1.5% salt by weight. I got this really nice little, I got this set. The great Sandor Katz told me, just do it by, if it tastes perfectly seasoned, then it's there, you're good. Because you're gonna eat it at the end of the day anyway, right? And like that made a lot of sense. Sandor Katz, a fermentation legend. We're gonna be hopefully getting him on the show soon. But yeah, forget why I brought him up. Yeah, that tastes great. And then, I got 2 little cloves of garlic. Crushed, chopped, get that good stuff going. Yeah, so I chopped that up. And then right from the garden, all right, because it's just wonderful. And anyone, if you can, should grow lemongrass because, oh my God, it's just delightful. And I got a little habanero, hot, so be careful how you touch it, okay? Add that all right in there, okay? Because this is for the grown-ups today. And then I also have, just because it's nice and they're here, a little bit of flowering thyme. Yeah, growing herbs is great. And then I have some really nice mint, just because, again, why not? So we have all that. And then today I'm going to use a little bit of this really great Turkish pepper flake called Maras Babir. It's just super oily, mildly spicy, and just absolutely delicious on almost everything. It's probably my favorite pepper flake. So we'll mix that all together. And then I'm going to pack it into a jar here. And we're going to let that ferment. I'm going to put a lid on it. I made a swap for this, you know, about 5 days ago, and things were going on, and it was getting real active. And I woke up one morning, and it was like, oh, I was like, man, I caught it. The thing was like, you know, it was like a bomb. Hard as a rock. I should have popped it, let the gas out. But I was like, all right, I'll put it in the fridge. And then yesterday, my lovely wife, she opened up the fridge, and it just like it was just boom. I didn't even see it. Thank God you guys cleaned it up for me. I was very busy. So point being, they're going to take off. So you got to be able to let that gas out. But if you were to put this on sealed tight in a couple of days, I guarantee you that glass is going to blow up. So be very careful if you're going to do it, and allow for, if not burping, but allow for gas to get out. Yeah, let me go wash my hands. I got a little coffee filter. Just has a little gasket, kind of breathable gasket, as I like to say. And I just give it a couple little gentle turns. And that's going to be nice and liquidy base for our glaze and for our sauce, our spoon sauce to put over the smoked chicken. The coffee filter, which is nice, you know, as long as it's not on too tight, you know, you're not going to go pushing on the wax ring that's inside here. Just a little loose so the flies can't get in and any intruders. This is perfect, just like that. If you have a little glass weight where you can push it down, keep things under the liquid, that's ideal. But this stuff's going to really just take off and break down and get real soupy soon. Keep an eye on it. Taste it, okay? Don't be scared. If you see any mold or bad things, or if it makes you nervous, throw it away, all right? And just you lost a few dollars, you know, and that's just, it is what it is. That's life sometimes. So yeah, 3 to 4 days, room temperature. See you soon. All right, so we have our tomato. Big, you know, looking much different here. Big breakdown of all the cell walls in the tomato. All that juices came out. You got a real good saucy looking thing here, right? And that's awesome. That's what we're looking for. So now, and this went for about, it was very active. I'm telling you what, you have to put a system on it where you're gonna let the degas and let the gas out. And so that's what we're left with. And now we're just gonna pop it all into the blender. I'm gonna pull out the lemongrass and I'll put it back in the grass for this moment, because that's really fibery and that's not gonna break down all that well. Certainly not gonna be pleasant in the sauce. So real gentle pulse here, all right? We just wanna break up that garlic, any bit of remaining tomato skin and stuff like that, just to give it a nice smooth consistency. Oh, geez. I'm gonna divide it in half. This bowl being the glaze, which I have some fresh herbs in, a little bit more thyme and some fresh tarragon. And we're gonna put a little bit of, just a little pinch of each in there. Yeah, why not? And we're gonna divide that right in half here. Look at that, that's beautiful. You can call that gazpacho if it's like your thing. So this one being the glaze, we're going to add a few more things to it to kind of sweeten it up and get things going. I'm gonna add a little bit of like a sweetened mirin, which is a Japanese cooking wine. A little over a quarter cup of that. A little show you. Another fermented product. We're gonna add about a quarter cup. We're gonna do about a quarter cup of honey as well. Local stuff, all right? Little shout outs. You go on and zoom in on that, bud, all right? I don't know where this came from. Oh, Captain Cory over here. It's a little in the family, right, bud? Little Connecticut. Full bloom A-berries. What a name. A-berries, that's what I said, Cory. All right, what else do we need? Well, another little pinch of the heat here. Just because I can't help myself, I'm just in love. And we'll mix that up. Yeah, buddy. And we're gonna paint that on to the chicken in about another 20 minutes. And then for every hour, we'll just apply that to the chicken and just let it go and let it go. And it'll build this like really nice caramelized chicken coating, or like little shellacked. It's amazing. So yeah, we'll finish up our sauce, which again is just that base. Taste it, it should be squared away with salt. You shouldn't have to add anything else like that. I just like to add a little bit of olive oil. Again, for this, we'll add about, you know, yeah, this is something that we're gonna spoon over our chicken. So I'm an olive oil guy. I probably added a generous quarter cup there. We'll give that a little stir too, right? I mean, look at that. All right, so our chicken's been going for about 45 minutes, almost an hour. Great. So yeah, just a real nice little generous kind of little drop mop there. And what you want it to do is just kind of sit on there. It could be a little, the first one's always a little, it's gonna run off a little bit. That's why I got some pans or some tin foil underneath the grill there to catch. And what we want this to do is tack up, sit on that skin as it bakes and cooks and smokes on, and it'll get tackier. And the next one, it'll even bite a little bit more. All that stuff just building up a really nice sticky coating. I'll come back in another 40 minutes or so, 45 minutes, see how impatient I get. We'll put another thick layer on, let it cook, and then we'll just keep an eye on that temperature with a little probe thermometer. Kev, you can get on the back of the bike.
Ready?
Whoa! How's the camera?
One piece.
Good. You gotta be a little more careful, Kev. All right, great. So our chicken's been cooking with that first coating of the glaze that we made for about 40 minutes or so. Yeah, there we go. You can see it's starting to bake on a little bit, starting to caramelize slightly. That's what's nice about having, you know, a pellet, like a Traeger or a pellet grill like this, or even like, you know, got a charcoal fire with a smoker system. Smoke's nice because it's cooking just like an oven does, but it also is putting some natural wood smoke on it, which adds flavor. And I really like the way chicken comes out in it. Set a timer, or who am I kidding? You have to set a timer. 30 minutes, 40 minutes, come back here, put another coat on. I like to get 3 or 4 layers of that glaze on before the chicken is at that internal temperature of 165 in the joint. So this is a sight down here for compound bow, and when I pull this back, you look through this little disc here, it's called the peep sight, and you line up these little pins. They kind of look like they glow because there's a little bit of a fiber optic, and you hold it steady, and that's... But point being, you move a 1/4 inch, it's gonna jump 2 inches, you know what I mean? Just shut up, Brad, just shoot. See, it's addictive. Now I just want to keep shooting. We should really go check that chicken. Come on. So we had about another 40-minute wait in the smoker there, running at 230 right now, and looking good, looking nice and caramelly, nice and tomato jammy. The next step for me is going to be a real quick brushing at around 150, and I'll turn the oven up to 400 degrees and let this thing crank, and cook it. That temperature is going to jump real quick into our safety zone. The outside of this is going to get a real nice quick, because we've been doing a real slow. Perfect. We're at 160 now, so I'm going to turn this up. Let's do 400. Okay. Real quick, I'm just going to hit it with the last of our little liquid, our little glaze, just to give it a little fresh sugar on there. We got a real nice base going. We got to close this, and we turned it up to 400, 410 degrees, much hotter, right? And then sugars are going to caramelize, and we're going to get a much deeper color on the chicken, and it's going to bring us through that last little carryover of cooking into perfection. And we're going to have a nicely seasoned, juicy, smoked, fermented, caramelized chicken. Woo! See you in about 7-8 minutes, so don't go far, okay? Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Tomato all jammy, baked on there, smoked on there. So cool, we let our chicken rest about, 10 minutes, and let's get into it. Look at that, beautiful. And then we'll put some of that sauce right over top of it, which is a really nice kind of spicy, kind of sweet, nice little olive oily little addition to pour right over. I mean, look at that. You have that with some salad or something. I'd eat that any day of the week. All right, do a little taste here. Get a little sauce, a little piece of the skin on there. Mmm. The depth of the flavor from the tomatoes slowly caramelizing at the end, that little bit of heat, it just does something really magical. And it just gets this undertone of like fresh tomato in a way, that every year I kind of look forward to cooking a version of this. And honestly, just seasoning that chicken or whatever piece of meat you do ahead of time just comes through massively. It just kind of just transforms the whole cooking experience. Oh, look, that's the little oyster in there. Oh my God. That's why I leave the backbone on. There's a couple little, they don't make it to the table pieces on there that are a little weird, but oh my God, they're so good. do this at home, guys. I mean, give it a shot. And like, you know, any recipe that I make or in my book, I mean, I highly promote that you just kind of riff with them. You know, there's a good base to it, just like this tomato thing. It can help you kind of get started, and then you can apply it to any type of cooking you want to do. And that's kind of what I'm all about. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Give it a shot. And again, I got this book. It's about all throughout the Northeast food adventures that I did. Pre-sale now, and it's available November 9th. So thanks, guys, and bon appetit. So I was fighting. I wanted this to be the cover, full blown. There's another picture where I don't have pants on and just a couple sunflowers covering me. And I thought that was fun, but no one really else did.